track just keeps on giving. I don't think I'm getting up that. That's stuff. Damn it. It's a Saturday morning. Kai and I are away on a weekend full drive trip. Not actually weekend. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we came after work yesterday afternoon. We left home. I don't go to work. Well, you went to school and I go to work. Well, we'll technically both go to school. Well, yeah, I work at school. We left about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Made the couple of hour drive through to Bulahdelah area. And then we came out of the local state forest out behind Bulahdelah, which I've never been to before. But we're at the Striker Lake campground. Sort of navigated our way through the bush tracks out this campground. It's quite a beautiful spot here, beautiful sunny morning. We've got the whole place to ourselves here, which is always good. Just cooking up a bit of breakfast now. Got the fire going here. We're cooking a bit of eggs and toast and everything. How's the toast going? I don't know. Pretty good. Such a nice peaceful morning out here. There's some sort of birds around us everywhere, and as I said, like you got the whole place to yourself. So I love that camping. I sort of don't really like camping where there's other people or crowds or anything. I'm always looking for those places to yourself. The next day. Hey everybody, yeah, let's camp together. Well, this setup here is a bit of new gear. I got off Drifter during the week, so I already got that Snow Peak fire pit. Now I got it on a big block of wood because you're meant to have a stand for it when you use this table. So this is the table I got from Drifter. A little table goes around the fire pit, which is pretty cool because you can sort of cook on it and sit all your stuff on it. Yeah, except it falls off. Except the knife just fell off the table. Yeah, jinxed yourself. Pretty cool little setup with that table. Got the fire pit there, but yeah, as I said, I had to cut up a big block of wood to sit the fire pit on because normally you got to put it on a little stand. That way it sits up above the table. Otherwise your table is just going to get hot if it's down below it. Normally it doesn't sit up that high. It sits down a bit lower. And it's got this little sort of foldable table off them as well, rather than lugging around my big table, which is a bit of a pain, and I didn't really use it that much, so this is just a nice little handy table to use at camp. But it's sort of the perfect setup for sitting around the fire and cooking your breakfast and enjoying it. We'll start packing everything up at camp and then we'll head off for a bit of a drive around the area and see what we can find. It's obviously more space to take up, more things to take when you're going camping, taking all these bits and pieces, but it is quite good. It was really nice having all this like room and stuff to sit things on. These tables are only really light, so it's not any weight, only like 3 kilos or something. At least all this stuff like a flat pack, so it's not too bad. All packed up camp, ready to go do some exploring. I'll show on the maps. So I brought a few different paper maps for this trip. So I always like to keep paper maps with me, so I've got 2 forestry ones, I guess they are. I've got a Hema New South Wales one, a big one, and then a Drifter Mid-North Coast New South Wales one. So open up the map and show where we are. There's the New South Wales Mid-North Coast.
Bulahdelah. Then we came out here at this Cabbage Tree Road out into this area. This is where we are. Just gonna leave the car, camp there, and then I saw on the drone just down the road here, a couple hundred metres or so, there's a little creek and river, so we're gonna go down there and have a look, maybe freshen up, have a little swim.
You go first. You be the first.
No, I sacrificed myself first.
Yeah, you wanted to go.
There's this old wooden steel frame bridge just down from camp. I've seen this before on a video, because 4-wheel drive action did a trip out here a few years back, and I've always wanted to come out here since I saw that video, and just never happened, and now it has. But they could drive over this bridge when they were out here, but they've blocked it off now. It looks pretty worse for wear. It's a pretty cool bridge though. Nice little creek flowing down here as well. We're out in the forest, out in the bush here, out in the tracks doing a bit of exploring. Don't know this area, as I said, so just kind of taking tracks, have a bit of a drive around and see what we can find. Got a tree falling across the road here now. It's only a small one, so I'll just use the silky to clear it off. Spent the last sort of couple of hours just driving all around this bush out here now. Haven't found too much, to be honest. Like, it's a beautiful area. We're sort of trying to find a couple of 4-wheel drive tracks to do, but we've either come to dead ends, or they've turned into motorbike tracks, or have come to like a couple of bridges that have been out, and that's the end of the track. We're on this Black Ridge Trail now, I think it is, which is the one that did in 4-wheel drive action, is the one I came to see. And there's a couple little bits on it. We'll come to this mud hole now. I have to try and work out how to get around. But all the main hill climbs on it and that have been graded. So that was kind of what I was hoping to do, all those hill climbs out here. That main one there, it's got a little bit of depth and it's very, very soft in there. So I'll come around this side one. This one's got a bit of depth, a little bit soft, it's not too bad. We seem to be coming across a few different tracks and obstacles now that we're sort of out more the southern, I think it's the southern end of the area. I'll have a look on my map here. I don't even see it very well, but this is the one we're on now, Winds Creek Trail. We came straight across the road from that other one we're on, which was Black Gate Trail. We're just having a bit of a drive really, see what we can see what we can try and find a few nice little creeks and tracks and obstacles and explore the area. Yeah, we seem to be coming across a few bits and pieces now. Bit of a hill climb here in front of me, a few ruts and holes and things to navigate. The first gear low range for this one. A couple of decent holes and ruts and steps here. I'll put that rear locker in too. Trying to stay up on that high line. Oh, I don't know, it just went everywhere then. A little bit of power in her up rear locker.
down to this beautiful spot on the creek here. It was funny, like after the camp this morning, probably spent like 3, maybe 4 hours just like driving around the bush, sort of not finding much. Like, it's still beautiful, but just those main bush trails and just bush, they don't really do a massive amount for me. I do enjoy it, but I much prefer this sort of stuff. Like, we just come down that steep rugged out bank, like come down to this beautiful crystal clear creek, you know, out here, middle of nowhere, by ourselves. I don't even know where we are now. We're not even on the map. This turned off, came down to the creek. It looks like it gets a bit of use. There's some 4-wheel drive tracks on it. It goes like, follows the creek, comes, heads up back out the other side. How's Harry Potter, Kai?
It's a frog.
That's the way 4-wheel driving goes. It can't all be easy. It can't all be just everything you want. You just have to put up with the stuff in between, the good stuff, which, you know, it's still great to be out here, still great to be doing it, whatever happens. But a lot of people sort of always want coordinates and exact tracks and locations and directions off me, because they don't want to do that. They don't want to just drive all around the bush and trying to find the good spots. But that's what I've been doing for years, just drive around the bush, and you get dead ends, you get nothingness, you get like broken bridges, you get tracks that go nowhere, motorbike tracks, all different things happen. But then you find beautiful places like this in amongst all that. Geez, I really need a swim. I'm sweating so much. A little bit deeper than the swim this morning at least. Oh, it's nice. Be good here in summer. A couple of things that seem to help with finding these places is, number one being, if I see a track, I have to take it. Once I'm like out checking out these places, if any like people who've ever come with me, like if I see a track, I gotta go down it. I gotta know, like, what if there's something down there? So I seem to have like this urgency, this anxiety to know what's down every track and trail. And the other thing being, I'm terrible at turning around. On the way down in this one, nearly about 6 times I was like, oh, it's a waste of time, this is going nowhere, because the start was just kind of smashing through the bush and wasn't much happening. I was like, oh, turn around, go back. But I just couldn't do it. I was like, nah, just a little bit further, and then you eventually find a place like this. That should be good wood. We'll chop all these bits up, have a heap of wood for the fire tonight. Found ourselves a nice camp spot along the tracks to ourselves again. The sun's kind of, well, sun's sort of going down now. There's no sun now, but it's still up in the trees there. Creek just down there, so you got access to nice fresh water. Maybe have a swim in the morning, and you got washing up water and all that sort of stuff down there too. And just got a little camp spot here. It's alright, I'll just set up all the camp where you play down at the creek. That's cool. Light. Even though this setup is obviously a bit more work, it's not that much. A couple more things to carry, a couple more things set up. I don't think I'll take it every trip, but it's really good to have. Like, I really enjoy it, just sitting around you got the room around the fire to sit stuff. The stuff around the fire can get a little bit warm from it. Not really hot, but just depends how big your fire is as well. They get a little bit of warmth on it. We've got a little table here too if you want to keep the stuff cool. Just going to cook a little bit of pesto pasta for dinner. Alrighty, dinner's already. Looks pretty delish.
Except for the
mushrooms.
Yes!
Your favourite.
No. My least favorite.
Dad's a pretty professional chef, hey?
Yeah, except here, my thing.
Another beautiful morning out the bush here. Today is Sunday. It's actually Father's Day today. What is it? I don't know, 6th, 7th September, something like that. My dad, Gary, he's out Armadale hunting this weekend. He went out there shooting rabbits, so he sort of gets all his own. He goes our way from time to time to get his own meat. He doesn't really buy from the shops, sort of gets his own roo and rabbits and stuff like that, and then he catches, he's always sort of fishing every week. So he's out there doing that. I sort of planned this last minute. He already made those plans. I'm hopeless with plans. I sort of organised this trip Thursday. I packed up Thursday off. I was like, oh, may as well go away this weekend. The weather looks pretty nice. Been taking it pretty easy this morning, but we're gonna start organising pack up soon, I reckon. Quick update on the dual battery system, because that's a sort of question I get all the time about the old one versus the new one. As I always say to people, like, the old AGM one wasn't bad. The lithium's just much better, much better. It's going really well. Actually had some work done to it recently. I had to get a couple of things rewired, and we tidied it all up. You can't see it, it's all in under the seat and behind the back seat. We tied it right up. Check on my phone what percentage it's on. There it is now on 60%. So I've been using it heaps last night. It's drawing fair bit of power at the moment. Well, not massive amount, but drawing a decent amount at the moment. Because I'm charging the laptop and both the drone on in there at the moment. I still haven't made a box for that inverter there, so it's caught, my wires are sort of a bit all over the place down there. It's just messy at the moment because I got my laptop and my drone charger, my camera charger going everywhere. But I charged heaps off it last night. I've been using it all this morning and get way more power. Like the AGM probably would have killed it by now. That's why I really needed that lithium. And there you go.
And a lumberjack.
Near Korea unlock. Nearly got it. Nearly got it. Oh.
No!
No.
Wow! Definite one, cut one and kill.
Whoa, straight down the middle. Safari did that whole dual battery system. It's got all Victron gear and Safari gear. It's all lithium set up. But I did a whole video on that, so if you want to sort of know more about it, it's best just check out that video. We're navigating our way out of here now via all the side tracks rather than the main road, and seeing what we can find. Beautiful through here, like there's all these little creek crossings and that everywhere. Well, things are starting to get interesting now. Started pouring rain. We came up out of that creek crossing, and then, I don't know, just a little bit sloshy and muddy here, and the front end just fell in. Seems to be stuck. I'll try once more, a bit of back and forth, so I can get out, otherwise I'm going to have to winch out. Yeah, that's stuck. Damn it. I've got a tree trunk protector on a soft shackle. I just need to grab a blanket. I'm hoping this tree holds. I'm going to have to keep an eye on it. The ground's pretty soft here. But this is the one on the best angle to pull me out. Oh man, that is so slippery. Even like, see what happened was it sat on its belly there, it fell in that hole and that hole, and then it's just ridiculously slippery. I don't even know if I can go from there, but I couldn't winch any further. I was all out of it, but it's just still just slipping. But I'll try and drive from there. If not, I'll just have to go that other tree over the other side. That'll work good now. Look at that, and it's just absolute slush. Wouldn't even go from there, just sat there spinning. So I'm gonna have to winch over another tree now. I think we're out of it now, I hope so. If not, I'm gonna have to keep winching. It's just so slushy through here, it's ridiculous. Alrighty, we're out of that mess. Wasn't really what I was planning or expected, but that's what happens when you're out doing these things. Yeah, all of a sudden it's all happening. We're out now, we'll keep going. I don't know what else this track's going to be like. Yeah, track just keeps on giving. I don't think I'm getting up that.
Can you see me?
No.
Really?
No, can't see.
All packed up camp, ready to go do some exploring. I'll show you
Why do we even keep walking across this one?
just to get the cool vlog.
Yeah, I just whittle sticks all week, all year.
Actually, I work at school all week, thanks mate.
Oh, you don't whittle sticks all week then.
I work at school.
Would you whittle sticks when you're at school?
No.
Do you do any of the school work?
I teach the kids.
Yeah, well you don't do any of it, do you?
The other thing... Nah.
Nah, next. Boring!
The other thing I wanted to quickly mention is it's probably like these videos at the moment are about 2 months behind, so we're at the beginning of September now. By the time this video is released, it's going to be September, October. It's probably going to be like the beginning of November or something. I don't even know. But see, some people think I film a video and then upload it that week or the next day. It just depends what's happening at the time. But at the moment, I'm about 2 months. 2 months difference between filming and releasing on YouTube because I got that much backed up.
So don't say illegal coronavirus, arrest him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like when I was uploading videos during all the COVID lockdowns and then people were abusing me. I was like, well, I filmed it months ago.
Oh, and remember when someone says he weren't allowed fines because of bushfires?
Yeah, yeah. So people always get up you for things that are happening at the time, but I don't really think they realise that filming and editing is a fair gap between filming, editing, releasing, and then all the other videos you're working on. But anyways, my point was the Respect the Bush campaign, which Luke from Drifter started, basically because he was going to his favourite campsites and just noticing more and more rubbish. He got fed up, had enough. Decided to do something about it. got these bags made up. Well, they're being made up at the moment. He sent me out a couple. I gave one to Dad. I've taken one. The idea being, every time you go away, go camping, you take 2 bags with you, and it's 2 in, 2 out. So one for your own rubbish and one for other rubbish you find on the tracks. Clean up the areas to help keep these places open that everyone loves going to, because more and more places are getting closed, and rubbish being a big factor in that often. We've only got the one this trip, so we're just, I don't know, we don't have heaps of rubbish. We'll put our rubbish in there, and then we'll just collect all the rubbish we see along the way. And then by the time this trip's over, the idea is to fill the bag up and leave everywhere cleaner than what you found it. Now, heaps of people are getting on board with this, so hopefully it really takes off. The more people that do it, the more rubbish is going to get cleaned and taken out of the bush and the beaches, and keep these places open. You know, we obviously see it everywhere we go. I never really say anything about it. I don't want to draw more attention to the fact generally of the rubbish that you see in these places. People often, people, you know, do complain and whinge about it a lot, which I understand. But I think in the end, we're not going to be able to stop everyone doing it. We're just going to have to clean it up ourselves to some extent. Try and reduce the amount of people doing it, and those that are never going to stop doing it, you know, littering the bush, leaving rubbish everywhere, which is just the stupidest thing ever. I can never understand. I go to these beautiful places that people obviously go to and enjoy, and then just leave all their rubbish behind. I never understand it. But anyways, cleaning up the bush. Clean it every time you go out. Fill up a bag, clean it up, and then that way the place is cleaner than when you left it. So at the moment, these are being made up. They're doing them for free. I think you just have to pay for postage, but you just go online on the Drifter website, on the 4Drive Action website. A couple of different companies, a heap of companies are getting on board, and they're being sold in a couple of different places. But yeah, you can order one that's free of charge, other than you just have to pay a few bucks or whatever to get it posted to your house. So the more people that get on board, then the better all this stuff's going to be for everyone in the long run.
Remember when someone put a plastic bag like 2 meters away from a red bin?
Yeah, that's the thing. People are just moronic. These bags are reusable though, so they're not just use it once, throw them in the bin. They're just like I don't know what the material is, but they're kind of like firewood bags. They've got a Velcro top, so you can close them up when you finish, empty it at home or wherever, and then put it back in your car for next time. I think it's really good for something like this, because I think it really encourages people to get on board, and you know, they see everyone else doing anything, oh, you know, I'll have a go, I'll do that too. You know, it's cool. They can order their bag, get that little bit of satisfaction out of it, and you feel a lot better picking up rubbish and taking it with you. Obviously you can't always get everything, sometimes there's too much, but you fill up the bag and get what you can, and then leave it cleaner.